Picture this: Moscow, 1957. The Cold War is in full swing, and the United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a race for the stars. Just 1 month earlier, the Soviets shocked the world by launching Sputnik 1, the very first artificial satellite. But now, they want something even more ambitious: to send a living creature into space. Not just to prove it could be done, but to show the world the power of Soviet science. And that creature would be a small, scrappy stray dog named Laika. Laika was not born into fame. She was born on the streets of Moscow, a mixed-breed stray who wandered through alleys and markets looking for scraps of food. But Soviet scientists had a theory: strays would make better cosmonauts. They were tough, resilient, and already used to harsh conditions. So Laika, with her gentle eyes and calm nature, was chosen for the most dangerous mission of her time. Her training was grueling. The Soviet space program selected a handful of dogs, placing them in tiny confinement capsules to simulate the cramped spacecraft. They spun them in centrifuges to mimic G-forces, exposed them to loud rocket noises, and restricted their diets to prepare their bodies. Many dogs washed out, but Laika remained steady. She was small, about 13 pounds, and she didn't panic under pressure. That made her the perfect candidate. On November 3rd, 1957, the Soviets prepared to launch Sputnik 2. The capsule was far larger than the first Sputnik, but still incredibly cramped, barely enough room for Laika to lie down or stand up. Engineers knew there was one heartbreaking truth: there was no plan to bring her home. The technology for re-entry hadn't been developed yet. Laika was going on a one-way trip. Still, she was treated with care before the launch. One scientist, Dr. Vladimir Yazdovsky, took Laika home to play with his children the day before the mission. He later said he wanted to give her a taste of ordinary happiness before her extraordinary fate. And then on that cold November morning, Laika was placed inside Sputnik 2, her heartbeat and breathing carefully monitored. As the countdown reached 0, the rocket thundered to life, shaking the Earth beneath Baikonur Cosmodrome. And against all odds, Laika became the very first living creature to orbit Earth. As Sputnik 2 soared into orbit, Laika's body was under immense stress. Her heart rate tripled during launch, but she survived the violent shaking and the crushing G-forces. Within minutes, the tiny stray from Moscow was circling the planet at nearly 18,000 miles per hour. From Earth, Soviet scientists watched her vital signs. For the first time in human history, life itself had left our planet's grasp and entered the silent void of space. At first, Laika's signals showed she was alive and adapting, though stressed. But the spacecraft had flaws. Engineers rushed to meet political deadlines, leaving little time for testing. Insulation panels failed to separate, and the cabin overheated. After just a few hours in orbit, Laika's heartbeat spiked dramatically, and her movements became frantic. Official Soviet reports at the time claimed she lived for several days, even a week. But decades later, declassified documents revealed the truth. Laika likely died of heat and stress just a few hours after launch. Her sacrifice, though tragic, was not in vain. Data from Laika's mission proved that living organisms could survive the violent launch and weightlessness of space, at least for a time. This knowledge laid the groundwork for human spaceflight, which would follow just for years later when Yuri Gagarin orbited Earth in 1961. But Laika's story has always carried a moral weight. Around the world, people mourned the little dog who never came home. Protests rose against sending animals on one-way missions. Even some Soviet scientists admitted regret. Oleg Gazenko, one of her trainers, later said, "The more time passes, the more I'm sorry about it. We shouldn't have done it. We did not learn enough from this mission to justify the death of the dog." Despite the sorrow, Laika became a global symbol. In Russia, children grew up hearing her name. Monuments were later built in her honor, including a statue near Moscow's Military Research Center. Her image still appears in art, literature, and even songs, a reminder of both the triumph and the tragedy of early space exploration. Laika's legacy endures not just as the first animal in orbit, but as a creature who bridged the gap between Earth and the cosmos. A stray dog, plucked from the streets, became a pioneer who carried humanity's dreams into the stars. And while her story is bittersweet, it is also unforgettable. Laika will always be remembered as the little dog who changed the course of history.